All right, web design. I want to show you another go-to website for reference for HTML and actually CSS and JavaScript. There's a lot of stuff on this website. It's called W3Schools, and it is one of the most popular websites to go to just for reference, for HTML tags, as well as a whole lot of other stuff. So I want you to explore this website quite a bit, and I'll have in a lot of the assignments I'll have links to certain things. Like if you forgot how to add an image, for example, to your page, I'll probably put a link in there that'll link to W3Schools. So let me show you around a little bit. You can see the first thing here is that shows up on their front page is HTML, the language for building web pages. And you can go to HTML reference. The HTML reference is literally all the tags that you can use in HTML are just listed here. So, for example, if we wanted to go to, let's say, I don't know, a list item, right? So if I forgot how to create a list in HTML, I could click on this, and what happens is it'll give you an example, right? So it says an ordered list and an unordered list in HTML, and there's actually these are editable things that you can put in here. Well, actually not this right here, but this gives you an example of what it looks like. And a cool thing you can do is just hit try it yourself. Below that, it gives you just documentation on those elements. So it just tells you the li tag defines a list item. It can be used in ordered lists or unordered lists or in menu lists, and some other stuff that you probably don't need to know. And so the main thing here is if you're trying to figure something out, you can hit on try it yourself. And the cool thing is, it's kind of like Code Academy or a REPL, where here's basically another website. Here's my HTML body, things like that. You can see here's a paragraph, and they give you examples of what here's an unordered list and what it looks like, and here's the code for it, right? So this is all live, so I could just, I could switch up any of the code that I wanted to, and let's just put in some names here. And it's going to update. If I click on run, then you can basically just kind of just try new things, take a look at some sample code that they give you, alter it, see how to use it, and then you can use it in your code as well. So very, very handy here to, look at different things. So let's go back, and let's say I forget how to use an image, right? So I go to the IMG. Okay, so let's say the assignment said use an IMG tag and put in an image of yourself. Well, maybe you totally forgot how to use an image tag. So you click on image, and now here's really the documentation of it and an example of how to use it. So, here's an example of how to use it. Here's the IMG, and then you have to put in a source for where the file is located. And these are some other attributes that are optional that you don't need to have in there. But you can read all about it as you go down on this list, because each tag has different attributes that you can use. So you can see in this example, they used a height attribute to specify the height of the image, and they use a width attribute as well. And if you wanted to check those out, you could see down here under the attributes that, well, the height specifies the exact height of the image, and the width specifies the width. So there are lots of different attributes you can put onto this image, and of course no one has this stuff memorized. You would just have to look it up, and that's a lot of coding, is understanding where you can look things up and get the job done. So W3Schools is one of those places that I'll link to and that you should definitely explore, because you can learn a whole bunch of stuff just by going to this website and playing around with things. But let's actually try the image. If I hit try it yourself, okay, well, how do I use an image? Well, there it is right here. Here's an example of an image, and here's the image on the right hand side. Now if I switch this to a different image, I have to know where that image is located. So I can either have one uploaded to REPL or my local computer, or I could just find one on the internet and link to another image that's somewhere else. So if we go to Google Images, so I already typed in W3Schools, one of my favorite TV shows is The Office. So I typed in a Google image, and let's say I want to put this image in there. Now I could download it and put it on my computer and do all that stuff. I could also link straight to it wherever it's being held. So if I right click on an image, I can copy an image address. Now that address might be a really long really long web address, but it could go back into this, and I could replace smiley.gif, and I could paste by hitting Control and V. I could paste right there. Now I'm basically linking to another source from a website, so I want to be careful with that. But just to show you that it works, I could hit run, and you can see Dwight then shows up there. Now the reason why it's so distorted is because I still have these attributes that are on there, width 42 and height 42. So this would be a time where I would play around with this and say, well, I don't want that square image. Let me just get rid of those attributes. And now let me run it. Okay, well now it's going to be a normal size image. And so this is just it's kind of like a sandbox area where you can look up different tags, and then you can play around and figure out how to use it if you forget. And then this is just a place where you can copy some of this code into your REPL or use it as a guideline to add stuff in if you forget. So that's just one example. That's just a couple examples. But take some time and see what W3Schools has on it. Feel free to, when you're creating your projects or creating your websites, if you don't know how to do something, or if you want to add in some feature and you're like, I haven't learned that yet, go ahead and Google it. Go ahead and look on W3Schools. How do you add a video? How do you add a YouTube, whatever, into your page? And you can find all that stuff. You just have to search, and you just have to start reading through it. So but W3Schools is a key website that we'll use for a lot of reference. So get comfortable with it, play around with a few more of these things, and then you'll be done.